ready, man? Party people in the place to be. It's about that time for us to. Yeah.
What's up, chiropractors? This is Dr. Nick Silveri, your guide up the mountain to $1 million practice. If you're looking for the roadmap to grow your practice fast, then keep on listening. This is the Path to $1 Million podcast, where I chat with today's most successful practicing chiropractors. And remember, if you want to get there faster, visit getmemorenewpatients.com to find out more about Leverage Media, the most comprehensive digital marketing agency for chiropractors on the planet.
What's up, everybody? This is Dr. Nick Silveri with Path to $1 Million podcast, and I am here with my my favorite clients, right? Dr. Dave and Sheryl Iszler, and we've known each other now for about 6 months. No, longer than that, right? When
Almost a year.
Almost a year.
Almost a year. Wow. So anyway, I love you guys because you are implementers, you are doers. You guys always have a lot of fun. And you love marketing, I feel like, about as much as I do. So welcome to the podcast, and tell everybody a little bit about who you are and where you're from.
Thanks,
Nick. Go ahead. Oh, all right. Okay. So I grew up in North Dakota on a farm, went to Palmer College and graduated in '94, moved to Casper, Wyoming. I worked for another doc for a year as an associate. He retired. I bought the practice after that and built it up from there. About 2010, Sheryl joined me. I stole her away from the school district, and she came and started working for me.
So my background is actually social work. I have a master's degree in social work, which means I love working with people. I worked at a mental hospital, and then I was a school social worker for a number of years as well. And we had always wanted to work together after we got married. And so we just finally got a great opportunity because we opened up a weight loss center at our practice in Casper. And I ran our weight loss center, and it did really, really well. And after 8 years of that, we decided we really wanted to move to Arizona and get out of those nasty Wyoming winters. And here we are in Arizona now.
Mm-hmm.
So the three things that I really find interesting about you guys, and I love your energy, and I love that you just picked up and started a brand new thing in Arizona. So the thing that I think that I could really bring value to our listeners on the path that you guys took was, number one, how you just decided to, because a lot of chiropractors get stuck in the place that they just decided to open their practice. Lives change, they meet new people, and they want to move to another place, and they think, oh, well, I can't because I have this thing, and I can't just close the doors. So I want to talk a little bit about that process. The other thing is the networking that you guys do, just amazing. You guys are using modern communication to make that more effective. You are you're really good at connecting with people and showing value to other people, and so I wanted to talk about that as well. So let's start with the practice in Wyoming. How you guys decided to transition to Arizona, and then what that process looked like in terms of exiting your Wyoming practice, and then what was the decision on starting brand new versus buying an existing place, and how you decided on Glendale.
So we actually bought a house here in Arizona about 8 years ago as an investment. And we would come down here about 3 or 4 times a year for a week at a time. And we just really fell in love with it here. And it just got harder and harder to go back to Wyoming.
Yeah.
And I will tell you that we were paralyzed by fear for many years. Yeah. Where we really did want to move, but we were stuck in that thing of, well, we built this great successful practice and we're making great money, and we might as well just go ahead and stay here. But it really got to the point where our quality of life was suffering, and we really looked at it we have the opportunity to really do something amazing and new, and yeah, it's going to be hard, stinking work, but in the end, it's going to be worth it because we're going to be where we want to be. And we're going to be able to do the things that we want to do. Yeah. So, after many years. Yeah.
Real quick, give me an idea of what kind of numbers you guys were seeing in Wyoming, just the size of the practice.
Let's see, the second year after we opened the Ideal Protein, the weight loss center, we grossed 1.3 million.
Wow.
In a town of 55,000.
Unbelievable.
So
that was weight loss and chiropractic?
No,
Yeah.
that was just.
Oh, just weight loss.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
So Chiro.
Yeah. So we did. I was doing about 250 to 300,000 in Chiro there.
Gotcha. Like I feel like the job offers for Sheryl are going to be flooding in. Well, good thing Dave is married to her, so
she's not for hire.
Year two and year three, we grossed 1.3 million for the weight loss center both years.
Unbelievable. We'll have to have you on another time to like talk about like how to add on like an extra revenue stream. All right, so you guys had that, and so that's hard to walk away from. I mean, that's a profitable business, you know.
Yeah.
Very hard.
And then the problem with chiropractic is that it's like you have to be there. It's like a brick and mortar local business. Like you can't be in Arizona all the time and expect to run a $1.5 million practice.
Right.
Absolutely.
So anyway, didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no. So basically we just really started kicking around the idea of, what if we did move to Arizona? Is there a way that we could do that? And I'll let you.
So we finally came to the realization that this is where we needed to be. And we're still, like Sheryl said, paralyzed by fear. We did a lot of praying, and September of 2017, we came to the decision that, yes, we're going to do this. We're going to move to Arizona, and we're going to put our practice on the market. And if we can't sell it, then we just move the equipment and just start over, try to sell the files. 2 months later, we get a letter in the mail, total God thing, from a chiropractor who had been living in Portland. She actually grew up in Casper, Wyoming. Mm-hmm. And she was practicing in Portland for about 4 or 5 years. And her dad had passed away. And so she moved back to be with her mom since she was an only child. And she explained all this in the letter and said, hey, if you guys are willing to sell your practice, I'd love to buy it.
And keeping in mind, we hadn't even listed it yet.
Yeah, we hadn't even, got to that point. So here we are. And so she went SBA. Took about 6 months for her financing to go through, which gave us plenty of time. Worked out well. Our daughter finished her junior year in high school in Wyoming. Yeah. And so we were moving through during the summer, and we closed on the sale of the practice end of the third week of June, and went on vacation for a week. We sold our house in a day. We went on vacation. Our house was already under contract by the time we landed at our destination. And so we just packed up, gave away a lot of stuff and sold a lot of stuff, moved down here, and
we love it.
So
no looking back.
So the takeaway is when you want to sell your practice, start praying. Someone will call and drop.
No promises.
I think it was interesting. I think like once you make up your mind to do something 100%, 100%, it's almost like things start falling into place. And that energy that you put out,
right,
then just really starts to gain momentum.
Yeah.
That determination.
And knowing Sheryl, there was a lot of energy being put out. So.
Oh yeah.
All right. So you guys take your 1 week vacation and you decide, all right, now it's time to get to work. Why did you decide to start from scratch versus trying to look for something for sale? What was that decision like?
That's sometimes kind of a hard question to answer. We did a lot of looking back and forth, practices that were for sale. The one we looked into didn't really do it for us. I think they had a lot of baggage, and they just didn't speak to us. And so we did speak with some friends and talked about starting from scratch versus buying a practice. And we just came to the realization that if I buy a practice, just like I did before, that practice was never really exactly what I wanted.
Yeah.
So, even though it is much more work, we decided to just start from scratch and build exactly what we want.
And you guys really do have a beautiful office, and you've laid it out really well to be efficient and productive. And so before, like, when you decided to build, or like, you know, start from scratch until you opened, what kind of time frame was that?
So we moved here at the end of July last year, 2018.
Yeah.
And we were working on a deal to buy an office suite, and we couldn't close until October 1st. So we were in limbo for quite a while. Once the sale closed on the office suite, we hit the ground running. We got an architect in, we got the contractors going, and we hit some snags with permitting, but that's
as you always do, right?
That's life. And gave us an opportunity to work with a design company to get our space designed exactly the way we wanted. We were planning to open second week of January, but again, architect and permitting issues delayed us a couple months. We opened March 4th, but so we just finished up our 7th month since we've opened.
Awesome. So basically from July is when you kind of started the process. You opened in March. So that's basically like 9 months, right? So in those 9 months, that's what I found so interesting about you guys is you were hoofing it. You were on the ground, in your local community. You were super involved with BNI. You were getting training on like how you should be marketing it, because the marketing that you have to do now is much different than the marketing you had to do when you started the Wyoming practice. So I want to talk mainly about the in-person networking stuff. Like what were you guys focused on? What were you doing in those 9 months that you were building up that allowed you to have such a great explosion of growth when you started?
So I love networking. And, I guess I would encourage any chiropractor who maybe doesn't feel comfortable with marketing and they want to hire a marketing person, don't just look at a person with a marketing degree. Look at a person who has a social work degree or that type of field, because we are all about developing relationships. And really that's what marketing is, when you're doing it one-to-one. So that's my strength. And that's why I did so good at our weight loss program, because I am excellent at that. That is my wheelhouse. Computers are not my wheelhouse, as you know, Nick. So we had joined a BNI group in Casper and had a great experience with them. And so we got hooked up with a BNI in October. So we moved here end of July. And by October, we were attending every BNI meeting. You have to be really consistent. We really did a great job of packing in those one-to-ones and really getting to know every single member. Sometimes we do little video interviews with them that we could share on our Facebook, our work Facebook, and promote their business, which was always fun.
Yeah.
We joined our Glendale Chamber of Commerce right away as well. And again, we attended everything. There's a weekly breakfast. There's a once-a-month breakfast. They have a business after hours. And then again, we just did a lot of one-to-ones during that time. So we were working probably 60 hours a week even before we opened.
Long before we opened. Yeah.
So BNI, for those that don't know, is Business Networking International.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's a group where there's only one of each type. So there's only one chiropractor in your BNI group, only one like pest control guy in your BNI group, and the idea is that you deliver referrals back and forth, and like these are the people that you refer to. And the thing that I've always struggled with BNI is like, if I know an estate planning attorney, I don't want to have to now refer to this guy. But I feel like what you guys did was you formed those relationships so that you felt good about those referrals. And then I would guess that you guys give out a lot of referrals, which allows you to get back. So give me the 3 little tips for BNI that have allowed you to be really successful. Because I hear a lot of chiropractors, they'll try it, especially when they first start off. They'll try it, they won't get anything out of it, and it's a waste of time, and da-da-da. And you know how it is. You get out what you put in. So what are the things that have allowed you guys to be so successful, that have been the biggest needle movers, I guess?
We are very focused on giver's gain. So it was never about, I'm joining this group to see what I can get. Yeah. It's about joining this group to see about what we can give.
Right.
So really focusing on, how can I learn about their businesses? How can I promote them? That was a huge piece. 2 is attendance and really being present and attending even outside things socially, because those social connections actually oftentimes are what really bond the business connection. Mm-hmm. I would say that would be another tip. And then a third tip. Don't expect referrals right away.
Yeah, exactly. I was just
like, you're not going to get them. People have to know you. They have to trust you. They have to like you. Yeah. You just need to give it time.
Let me ask you this on the giver's side. What is it? So, we've talked about my girlfriend and how she really does a lot of in-person networking. Right. And one of the things that she's always looking for, because if the more you network, the more opportunity you have to give to these other people that you've met. It's like a flywheel. Like once you get started and keep pushing it, like becomes self-sustaining.
Yeah.
What she's always looking for is not so much like, what can I give to you, but like, who can I introduce you to? Like, what are you needing
Absolutely.
right now that I could try to put you in touch with this person that I know? So like, how do you go about that of like trying to pull out what are the things that person needs that you then get the opportunity to connect them with?
So one of the things that we talk about in BNI are power partners. And so those are industries that are complementary to yours. Yeah. And so then we're able to, focus on those, introducing those different people to other power partners. And some partners may not be in BNI. Some partners may be in our chamber, or I belong to 8 different networking groups that I go to.
Of course you do, yeah.
Of course I do. And some of them are networking groups that have a lot of different types of professions like BNI and the chamber, but some are more just healthcare focused.
Yeah.
And so it's great to make all those connections. And I would say on average, we probably do, between all of my different groups, we probably give out 15 referrals a week.
Probably.
A week.
Wow.
And then I do anywhere between, I would say 2 to 5 introductions per week.
That's great. And then the people that you're referring are seeing you as like a trusted resource. So then they start coming to you, hey, do you know anybody for this or that? Then you get more opportunities to get like more involved with their life.
Yeah. Oh, and here's another tip that worked really well, and our chamber members and our BNI members love it. Yeah. In our practice, we have 2 big referral cork boards. And so those are people that we know, we trust, we've done one-to-ones with, we do business with as well in those different groups, and we put their card up there. Mm-hmm. One card is focused on family types of services, like for moms and babies and kids, and the other one is more focused on services. Yeah. And so when we give our office tour to each one of our patients, we always show them those boards and say, if you're ever looking for a service, please feel free to look on this board first. Feel free to take their card or take a picture of their card, because these are people that we know and we trust and we do business with ourselves. So a lot of our patients now go to those boards.
Do they, like, how much does that happen?
Oh, a lot.
A lot.
Yeah. Just yesterday, I gave out 3 cards off of our board.
That is amazing. That's so good.
And then with those boards, when we do a one-to-one with somebody, whether it be a chamber member or BNI or a different networking group, if we do the one-to-one here, they see that and they see all those cards and they see their card up there.
Yeah.
And that speaks volumes. That
when you say one-to-one, you mean just like meeting with someone, get to know them better. Do you tend to do those? Do you do those a lot in the office? Do you do them over coffee? Like, what's your kind of go-to there?
We try to do them here so that they can see how unique our practice is. And, it's not like most of the other practices that they walk into. Yeah. And then we also try to do them at their place of business as well, so that we can see what they have to offer, and it shows that we're interested in them, not just showing off us.
And I think too, like I feel them out first. So like, for instance, just later this afternoon, we're meeting with a PT that's in one of my new networking groups. And I could tell by how he was initially when we met that he's not real pro chiropractic. Mm-hmm. And so I just said, hey, I would love to come to your place and see your place. I said, I've heard great things about you from Jamie, who's the group leader. And we oftentimes do referrals to PT. And so I would love to get to know you more and see how we can help you. And so we're going over to their practice later today.
Great.
So, yeah.
When you do the like when you do it at your office, do you is there like snacks, food, coffee, like, or is it just kind of just like, hey, let's sit down in the office and talk?
So we usually, sometimes we'll do like breakfast or lunch, but it's pretty rare. We actually have a big reception bar at our office. So we have coffee, tea, Pellegrino, water, LaCroix, snacks. We've got the whole gamut. Yeah. But we come in and we try to listen to them first. Mm-hmm. And at the end, if we've got time, then we talk about our business, but we always give them a tour. And what's amazing is we're such a different practice than what they're used to ever seeing. Yeah. And in a different technique because TRT is not very well known down here yet. Mm-hmm. So it's a great opportunity because once they take that tour, they are like stunned. Yeah. They are like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And when we designed our practice, sorry, doctors out there, we actually designed it because we didn't want it to feel like clinical and cold. We wanted it to be very warm and inviting, almost more like a living room. And people love it because of that.
It really does look great. Like it's designed really well. The colors are very welcoming. So if you have not, obviously, if you probably haven't looked at their office, go on their website and check it out because it's just like a very what's the word? Like it's just like luxury. Like it feels good when you're in.
It was like a spa.
Yeah, that's probably what it was. In terms of the chamber. It's a little bit different because it's not, like just this one person for this service or that service. With the chamber, is there any different strategy on that versus BNI?
Not really.
No, although I will have to tell you, we do look at who are the big players in our chamber.
Sure.
And those are definitely the people that we really wanted to make sure we focused our attention on and really get to know well. Yeah. And that has done wonders for us. I mean, just at this week's breakfast at the chamber, when people got up to do their commercial, I can't tell you how many people did their commercial on us.
Really?
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, they.
And instead of taking their 30 seconds, which we get about 30 seconds, instead of doing it on their business, they did it on our business.
Yeah.
There were 5, maybe 6 people.
There were so many.
Out of
it was great.
80 that were there that took their time to just do a testimonial.
Unbelievable. I mean, how powerful is that?
Oh yeah, we had like 5 commercials in one breakfast.
Right.
And then one other point I'd like to make too that we did with the chamber is get involved in their nonprofit activities that they do, because when people see that you're a part of the community and that you want to give back of your time and we've donated some stuff, they look at you a different way.
Well, and you guys, and it's not like you have any kind of roots to this community. Like you started in July of last year and now you're like Mr. and Miss Glendale. This is. I mean, you've got people doing commercials at the breakfast for you. That's a pretty impressive sprint.
One of the main key players in our group, he's awesome. He's wonderful. And he does a lot of nonprofit stuff too. Great guy. And he said to us, I've been with the chamber for a number of years and I have never seen anybody integrate as quickly and well as you two have. So that was cool.
And it's just showing up and like, and thinking about them first, right? I mean, there's not really like there's no like a serious strategy to it. It's like, let's just show up, be nice to people, talk about their stuff, and then eventually they'll ask about our stuff, right?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
2 things that just popped into my head. I was trying to think of it earlier and I lost it. But one is, a lot of offices do not do the office tour when new patients come in. And I know that's a big one for you guys. Can you just give me kind of like a real quick overview of like, what is it that you're doing, how you kind of start it, and kind of just the process of that office tour?
Sure. So at the front of our practice in our waiting room, we have a wall of different testimonials that people have different health issues and they've been successfully addressed through chiropractic. So we always start people out there and, you know, just say there are a lot of different health issues that can be addressed through chiropractic rather than drugs or surgery. Here's just a small example of some of them. So if you have a loved one or a friend that has any of these issues, or if you have any of these issues, please feel free to take one of these because it gives them another option. Then we take them to our.
You're already pre-framing them for the remote.
Yep.
So then we take them to our reception desk and introduce them to our chiropractic assistants. We take them to our reception bar and let them know they're more than welcome to help themselves to coffee, tea, Pellegrino, water, LaCroix. And oftentimes we actually get to know our patients' favorite drinks and we'll have it waiting for them at the counter when we see them walking up. So that's kind of a little extra special thing. We also have it's called our community wall. So every 2 months we partner with a different nonprofit agency to not only do a little in-house fundraiser for that nonprofit, but also bring awareness of that nonprofit to our patients in the community. So we have a little board that has information on that nonprofit, and then we have like a little section of stuff we're gathering. So we're working, like this month, we're working with Packages from Home that gathers items to send overseas to soldiers.
You can tell she's done this tour a couple of times. Yeah.
Then we take them to our kids' room and let them know that we see all ages, birth to 95. Kids can hang out here comfortably while their parents are waiting to be adjusted. Then we take them into our x-ray room, let them know we have in-house digital x-ray so we don't have to send them somewhere else. The fact that we do a motion study. I show them the exam room. I take them to the family board that shows them those, again, family referral cards. Yep. And we have a mom and pregnancy wall where we talk about the Webster technique really quick and that their kid issues can be helped through chiropractic. I quickly take them and show them the adjusting rooms, show them our rehab area, K-laser room, show them our massage room, and there you go. It takes about 7 minutes.
So good. And I mean, by the time they're done, they're half in.
Yeah.
They haven't even talked to Dave yet.
No, yeah. And half the time I'll just tag along just because I love listening to her give the tour. Because we do our one-to-ones obviously when I'm not seeing patients. So, and we finish up and they just have this bewildered look and go, "Oh my God, this is amazing!"
Right.
Especially people that we network with. When they come in and they get that tour, I hear all the time now, people are like, "Oh my gosh, I heard from so-and-so about your amazing office. I need to come see it."
Right. And like I said, I do think that your office is nicer than other offices, but it's not like you guys are like breaking the mold of a chiropractic office. I mean, it's a pretty standard chiropractic office. Yeah. Anyone could do this. Anyone could frame these things the right way. Anyone could have these things up on their wall. It's just a matter of like, the thing I like about you guys is you're always, it's like, okay, if the normal is this, I'm just going to at least go 10% more. And that extra 10% that nobody else does is the stuff that makes it the wow factor.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't do anything, like you said, different than a lot of chiropractors do. It's the presentation.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. It's the whole package. It's so good. So, you brought it up. What my second thing was that I see you guys doing a lot of fundraisers and with charity. So kind of tell me about that. You said once every 2 months you pick one.
So we actually, before we opened, I started researching nonprofits in the area, and I really wanted to do different ones, and a pet one and a soldier one, and so I wanted to mix it up. So we actually compiled our calendar a year ahead of time. Nice. On our website, and it's on our Giving Back tab. And so it's every 2 months we do a different nonprofit. So, 2 months. Oh, and then once a year we do a patient pick one. So patients, the last 2 months before this, they were able to take a piece of paper and write their favorite local nonprofit, and they throw it into a hat. And then at the end of the month, we drew it, and we were able to do a school supply drive for an organization called My Kid, which works with children with mental illnesses. And we got a ton of school supplies. Ton.
That's huge.
Yeah. And then what we do when we go deliver those, we take a picture of that nonprofit and talk about the nonprofit. And sometimes we do a video and then we share it out on our Facebook. And we do it all throughout the 2 months too.
Yeah.
We make sure we tag them in the video or the picture. And
And
then
of course, then they share
out
it.
on their Facebook page.
You know,
Yeah.
Like as nice as Sheryl is, she's always looking for that extra boost of awareness. With the with all of this, it definitely feels like you guys are really focused on building the community of the practice and making them feel like they're a part of something, as opposed to just like, he's my chiropractor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Talk a little bit about that. Like, what are some of the things that you like focus on when you are trying to build that's not just like the one-on-one relationship with the patient, because like that just comes naturally with being their doctor, but making them feel like they're a part of something bigger.
Mm-hmm. I think the little in-house, like every 2-month fundraiser is great, because I think we see a lot of professionals and everybody's busy, and it's not that they don't want to be helpful and contribute. It's just that they're busy. They don't think about it. So the fact that at their appointment, they can just bring stuff and donate it and feel like that they're contributing to the community, I think is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Other things to build that sense of community are Women's Night Out we've got coming up.
So we're doing a women's night out event later this month. So I took some of my favorite networking people that I network with in my groups, and I said, hey, let's come to my office. We'll set up every little room. We'll put little tables up in every little nook and cranny. So we have 14 different vendors coming, and we're going to serve wine from our Wines for Humanity, which 5% of the proceeds then get donated to your favorite nonprofit. And we'll serve hors d'oeuvres, and it'll be awesome. It'll be super fun.
And then the vendors.
October 24th.
Okay.
And then our the vendors that are doing it here, my expectation, and we chatted about this, I said, I'm not going to charge you anything. I really want to do this as a way to help promote your business. But my expectation would be that we all help each other out, and that you email out the electronic invitation that I email you, and that you also promote it on your Facebook page. So I added everybody as an administrator so that then they can share it too.
And then she created an event on Facebook, and I guess I missed that. You just said that, made them an administrator. Yeah.
Very good. All right, so that Facebook kind of transitions into the next thing. So when we met, you came from a client of ours as a referral, and when we met, you were already trying to like figure out Facebook content, how to put that all together, and how to use that to move the office forward. So, and when we met, like you were still like, I don't know, 6 months away from opening, and so we just like hung out once a month because I didn't really have anything to do for you, but I loved how much you got it. Like I loved how much you were like, listen, like Facebook is now the opportunity. It's the world's biggest spinal screen. It's the opportunity to like talk to somebody about a problem they might be having in a leveraged way, so that you don't have to do everything one-to-one, or don't have to go out and do. The thing I like about you guys is you get the unscalable, the relationship building side of it, but then you also want to have that scalable and leverageable side of it so that it's all working together. So tell me a little bit about like kind of how you guys think about content marketing and what it's done for the brand.
I think it's been very helpful, and you're going on and you're not just saying, hey, come to me. You're putting out information that the prospective patients find valuable. You're giving them tips on how they can address certain issues. You're establishing yourself as an expert in your field, in your area.
Yeah.
So when people think back pain, low back pain, sciatica, migraine, whatever the case may be, oh, I saw that guy on Facebook.
Right.
And he seemed like he really had it together and knew what he was talking about.
Yeah.
And we have to admit to you, we really were not into doing a lot of stuff on Facebook when we lived in Casper.
Right.
Here's what changed our mind is there was a chiropractor who moved to Casper a couple of years before we left.
Yeah.
And he quickly became one of the top chiropractors. And he's a young kid, but he did so well because he was on Facebook. I constantly saw him on Facebook. And so when we just decided we were going to go ahead and move here, that was one thing that we knew was not in our wheelhouse, but we knew it needed to be in our wheelhouse.
It wasn't optional.
No, it wasn't. You have to do.
Imagine that, like putting out information about what you do to help people to your local community actually helps people. It's weird.
Yeah, weird.
Who'd have thought? You know? So let's talk a little bit. You told me that you had kind of broken down the numbers so far, because you guys launched in March. It's been you're in your 7th month now. I mean, you guys have accelerated quickly. Like between these 2 pillars that we talked about, that it has been, you know, rapid growth. So talk to me a little bit about like what that ended up breaking out to.
Okay.
Do you want? Okay. So
let's start with the networking stuff.
Okay.
So I want people, because I just don't think that anybody ever really tracks it that well.
Right.
We do.
And I know that you guys do.
Yeah.
And because if there was the reason why people like, you know, $21 offers on a Facebook ad is because when they click on the ad, they fill out the form, they know that, you know, Mary Jones with this phone number and this email came from this ad, and they can say Mary Jones either came in and started or not. It was worth $1,627, and there were 7 of those people that totaled this much, and I only paid this much. That's a good deal. With networking, it's a lot of times because people don't track well enough, it's so nebulous that they're just like, I mean, I feel like I'm doing something, but I don't know if that's turning into something. So
Right.
You guys have done it the right way. So I want people to hear that it can be a profitable use of your time.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so first thing, let me tell you this is every single person that comes in, part of their process is, oh, how did you hear about us? Or how did you learn about us? Or how did you come to us?
Yeah.
Then our CAs are trained. We have a spreadsheet that's on our main computer at the desk. And so they immediately enter where that person came from. So then we can easily track, you know, are they Google, are they Facebook, are they Instagram, are they a networking group, are they an expo? And if they're an expo, which one come from? So it's all pretty easy to then kind of coordinate through. So out of our revenue, okay, now when I say revenue, I'm not talking about the one-timers that come in and don't sign up for care plan. These are care plan people, okay?
Yep.
So 45% of our income is due to networking.
Wow.
So then with your stuff, Google, Facebook, and Instagram is 37%. Personal referrals, which are like friends of ours, or if our massage therapy, you know, person brought someone in, is 8%. Expos, which we hate doing,
necessary evil,
are only 5%. Other healthcare professional referrals, 3.7%, and website, 1.4%. So networking is 45% of our income.
And between the content marketing and and also ads, like it's not just content marketing, but between your online presence and your networking, that's 82% of your business.
Yep.
And these are things that, I mean, I talk to chiropractors all the time, and I look at what they're doing, and nobody's doing the kind of network that you guys are. Nobody's doing the kind of content and like strategy that you guys are online. And so what's left is there's still 18% that came from the other ways, right? But that just means that you guys, that 18% would have been like, that would have happened regardless of all the other stuff probably, right? There's still expos you can go to, whatever. It just means you would have grown really slowly.
Yeah.
right?
This is what poured the gas on it, you know? And it's like, and it all starts to work together, because I'm sure when those people get tagged on your page, when you do the one-on-one, they then follow your page, they then see your content, they then can share it with their friends, and it becomes like this, again, like the flywheel where it all starts to work together.
Yep, absolutely. So then Dave will talk about kind of numbers.
Yeah, so we opened March 4th, and our first month we were at right about $6,500 in services. Well, we're just getting started. But with the prepays on the care plans, we collected over $19,000. By month 4, we had done $21,500 in services and collected about $37,000. And so it was 4 months for us to break the $20,000 mark.
That's amazing. And, you know, I think that most chiropractors in that first year, you know, maybe it's because they don't have the budgets or they don't really know what to do. You know, that networking stuff, that's just your effort.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a cup of coffee and your time.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I don't know if there's anybody out there that's starting to practice or is in practice now and is wanting to like boost it. They could not start this tomorrow.
Yep.
Like you could just decide I'm going to be the Sheryl of, Springfield, Illinois, and start actually like getting out there and like making a difference with people and like forming those relationships. And I just think I wish that there were more people doing that so that people saw that as part of the business.
Yeah.
And with the networking so far in advance, like I said, we didn't open until March. We had people asking late December, early January. They're asking us, when are you guys opening? I want to get in.
It's good to have a waiting list, right?
Yeah.
That actually, one more thing I wanted to ask about the grand opening, because I thought you guys did an amazing job on that. Just talk to me a little bit about how you kind of thought through the grand opening, how you used it to kind of get off to that quick start.
Well, you were great about helping us. I mean, honestly, let me just say this. We went into this needing a ton of help and a ton of advice. And so we reached out to everybody we know that's better at this stuff than we are. So I guess that's my advice is like, ask everybody that you can that is better at that than you, because you're going to learn something every time. So as far as that, we got your input, which was great. And you guys helped us with our Facebook stuff, but most of the people that came were all from our networking groups. I mean, so we did kind of a fun little theme, like I'm a nerd and I like old movies. So I like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. So we actually made personalized chocolate bars with our practice and the date of the event and the RSVP information on the wrapper. And 3 of those had a little golden ticket in them and they had a prize, but they couldn't open it until they actually came to the thing, and we all opened them up at the same time for some grand prizes. So we just made it really fun and had Wines for Humanity here to, again, do the wine tasting. We had great hors d'oeuvres. And literally there were people from the chamber that said ours was one of the best attended ones they had ever been to.
Yeah. I mean, you guys, I'm sure, go to a lot of the ribbon cuttings.
Yeah.
It's like the staff and the 5 people that show up from the chamber and they cut it and they have got like this like bloody plate of cheese and it's just a sad time, like you're just like we had like 125 people here.
Somewhere between 125 and 150. I know we kind of lost count. They were lined up down the sidewalk and around the corner to get in the door.
I was freaking out. Like, how are we going to fit all these people in our building? I don't even know.
That was great.
You froze up.
For the chocolate bars?
There you go.
What?
Oh, sorry. The chocolate bars, did you guys use a local company or was it a national company?
Yeah, it's called Soretta, but they actually do not only local stuff, but they actually do stuff for like Brock's and
Hickory Farms, so they're a major flyer nationwide, but they just happen to be located downtown.
I love that idea.
It was fun. People liked it. It was something different.
How do you spell that again?
CERRETA.
It's either two R's and 1 T or 1 R and 2 T's. But I think
Soretta candy bar.
Soretta, and it's in Glendale, Arizona.
I will look it up for you.
Perfect. What ended up happening out of that? Like, what were the trackables out of the grand opening?
We didn't honestly do a lot of the tracking with that. Sorry.
No.
That's all right.
I mean, most of the people that came were from the chamber and BNI, and we did a couple of screenings, but we really just focused on relationships and making it a fun event, quite honestly.
Yeah.
And a thing with the door prizes that we did, the vast majority of the door prizes, almost every one was donated by somebody that was either in the chamber with us or BNI or a networking group, but we wanted it to be something that promoted their business.
Yeah.
So they donated the door prizes, but it promoted them as well. So it was a win-win.
What did the 3 grand prizes end up being?
Oh gosh, what the heck?
Oh gosh, I'm trying to remember.
I've slept since then. It's gone.
I don't even remember anymore, quite honestly. One was like a big spa type of,
But it was still something that someone else had donated.
Yeah. Ooh,
Oh,
one was
yeah.
the big the beach towels in the basket, and
Yeah,
it was
this
just a
vacation lady in
vacation.
our BNI donated a huge bag full of like all kinds of vacation stuff.
Nice.
Super
And
fun.
guess what? It makes it a lot easier to ask for something like that when you've spent 6 months building the relationship.
Yep.
And seeing referrals already. Yeah.
And then I think one thing too that has really helped us, and we get a ton of compliments on, is that I use a company called Send Out Cards for personalized, very personal cards that I can do from my phone. It's on an app.
Yeah.
And you can take pictures. So anytime I go to a business or do a one-on-one, I'll take a picture of that business and maybe of that person.
Yep.
And not only will then I put it on our work Facebook to promote them and tag them, but then I send them a very heartfelt card, with those pictures, and that has been awesome. And then we also use that company to send out our birthday cards to patients, our welcome cards to patients. We'll send brownies because you can send all kinds of fun stuff with that too. And I cannot even, and sometimes I just send it because like,
Right.
oh my gosh, you're such an amazing person. I, so appreciate the advice you gave me last week. I mean, I make it very personal, and I cannot tell you how many texts I get every day that say, oh my gosh, I was having the worst day ever, and I opened your card, and thank you so much for making my day.
And now I saw on your Facebook, like now you're getting them back. Like I saw you got one the other day.
Yeah.
You're like the biggest promoter of send out cards. Like all of Glendale would be just passing send out cards back and forth.
I know my send out card lady was like, you should probably be a rep. And I'm like, I don't have time to do that. I'll pass them to you.
Because you sent one to me, and they're awesome. Like you put like the Leverage logo on there and like pictures from my Facebook. But it's like anybody can do that. Like that's easy to do at this point. But like the thing that you wrote in there was what made it special.
Yeah.
It probably didn't hurt, but it's just, it comes in a box. Like you're gonna get it open. Somebody's gonna love it, and that's the kind of stuff that those little touches are the. I'm gonna just start hiring social workers. It sounds like.
I'm telling you, we're all about the relationship.
And they don't make any money, so it's like
Yeah.
he'll be a
Yeah, you're right.
no matter what. Guys, what were we gonna say, Sheryl? Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, don't discount those people, because marketing people, they're marketers. I mean, when marketers come in our door, they're pushing their stuff, pushing their paperwork at me, they're pushing their pamphlets and their cards, and they want to tell me all about their business, and that does nothing for me. Where people like us, we're people.
That's right, and that's why I think you guys resonate with the content marketing side of it. Is like you're not measuring whether this video brought in 3 patients or not. It's more of the overall, like the long tail effect of it, that you're just kind of always around and always there, and people start to like you and trust you, and eventually, like when they're ready, because chiropractic is one of those things that they've got to be ready to. They have to think they need it. Like we all know that it's womb to tomb, but they have to think that they need it. So you just have to be everywhere when it's time for them to make a decision.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And I just want to thank you, because you not only just gave us so much advice and help and encouragement throughout this whole process, that without you and people like you in our world, we would not be here. So, we just want to tell anybody who's considering, or on the fence about doing this, it has made a world of difference. And we were both, him especially, he was terrified of doing videos. And
Right. I will say that Dave's like a born natural for videos. So if Dave can do it, anybody can do it. Right?
Exactly. Look at my earlier videos. It was like deer in the headlights, and
Well, it was like in your kitchen too, because you guys
our office
we
wasn't
didn't have an
open.
office space. I was in the dining room, in the kitchen.
when people complain about I don't have like the $1,000 camera, we don't have the professional lights, I'll like use you guys as an example once. I'll be like, a client that had not launched yet, and they were shooting videos sitting at their kitchen table, so I don't want to hear whatever excuses you have about your practice.
Totally.
Done.
Just do it.
Done is better than perfect.
100%.
Keep reminding myself.
You've gotten so much better, so that's great.
He has.
Couldn't have gotten much more.
Cheryl's always in them smiling. That always helps. Well, guys, I cannot thank you enough. I feel like we have given the listeners so much value. I never hear people talking about this stuff, and especially for newer docs that are trying to get off to a fast start, or if you feel like you're stagnant and you're trying to go to the next level, Like, this is the stuff that makes a difference. Relationships in your local community. You only have to be small town famous 3, 5, 7 miles around your practice. There's not that many people in there. There's not that many groups. Like, you can do it. It's just whether you want to get out from behind your, you know, your 4 walls and get out into the community and make a difference. And then you guys could not be a better example of like the value that you can bring to other people.
Oh, well, thank you.
And, you know, and people don't do business with businesses. They do business with people.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly. Well, you guys are 2 of the best, and I really thank you for your time, and we will see you on the next episode. Thanks a lot.
Awesome. Thanks.
All right, thanks.
Bye.
Just because this episode is over doesn't mean you can't continue your path to $1 million practice. We've created Chiropractic's most full-service marketing agency at Leverage Media to help you reach $1 million a year fast and continue to grow. You can get a free strategy session with me absolutely free right now. To get started, go to getmemorenewpatients.com. Once again, go to getmemorenewpatients.com, and we'll see you tomorrow on the Path to $1 Million podcast.